Hi everyone, this is Dale Pinker with ForexStopHunters.com. Want to welcome everyone viewing this video, hearing my voice, for your desire to become a more effective trader. I'd like to remind everyone that only risk capital should be used when trading high-risk markets such as FX, futures, options, other derivatives that are highly leveraged, and that past performance is not indicative of future results. The first pair that we're going to be looking at here is USDCAD, which had a very nice advance this week. So as we came off on late Thursday and Friday, people that are top picking this pair, it's my belief that there are buy stops above this 9987 level, and again above this high the move at par 31, which has come into play on other rally attempts, as you can see. So people that are looking for new lows in this pair, I believe there are blocks of stops over this par 31. The sell stops, of course, are going to be not as heavy because this rally just started, so I'm looking for, of course, sell stops here at 99.08, again under 99.84, and also the low of the move, which was 9837. Moving over to the euro, not that many buy stops on the hunt on the upside because we took care of a lot of business during this advance. The vultures have been feasting on buy stops over this high, this high, this high, and for the last 3-4 weeks I've been talking about that the euro rally will not end until we elect buy stops over 134.97, which we took care of business there. So the next major grouping of buy stops in euro, in my view, is above this high 137.86. So since we've taken care of a lot of business on the upside, squeezed most of the shorts out, and bullishness is building, there are multiple stop hunts to the downside. We're looking at sell stops to happen under this low 135.03. Again, we have some at 133.95, 133.55, and again at the low of the move at 132.94, which you have to go to a little bit of a longer term chart to get there. $32.94, and then of course under this low as well is going to be fairly significant at 132.43. Moving over to cable, which we took home a small 1/3 short position. The buy stops in cable USD are, in my view, above this 60.38 level, and the weekly high that we had of 160.59. So we'll look to see if they can challenge that early in the week. And of course we have sell stops under 159.54, and again the low of the week under here, where I think some of the bulls are going to feel a lot of pressure, and that's going to be at 159.54 and 158.66. So here's your 159.54. Here's your next level of stops at 58.66, and of course under the low of the move for the week, 158.36, sell stops. Many of the bulls that are anticipating another rise in cable will be trailing stops, with the largest block of stops between these two lows. Moving over to USD yen, 83.12 came into play. That's where the buy stops are before we had this recent decline after a very dramatic rally. Something else we talked about and I wrote about this week on the inflection point of the lunar cycle. So now we have to look at potential. So that's 83.12, and then if you get a little longer term, you're talking about this 83.68 level. But this 83.12 level, as you could see, for 2 days it's been contained. then your next stop hunt is going to be over this high. The major stop hunt's still way above us at the 84.50 level. And of course, we have some people that are bottom picking this pair, and the sell stops are going to be at 81.84 under this low. And then if you want to get longer term, you're going to have to be considering the low that we have at 80.90 down here. So those are your major sell stops. Moving over to US dollar Swiss, obvious buy stops at 9687 above these highs. You could tell looking at the 4-hour that many shorts will have their buy stops above there. It's coming into play on the last couple days, and you even get macro above this high, many grouping of stops. And then if you want to look for the next level of stops, you're going to go up to 97.83 on the buy stops. Of course, on the sell stops, the obvious block is going to be under the low of the move, which is 95.18. Everyone who's bottom picking this pair and bullish a dollar, they have a lot of block of stops under these two lows. Okay, moving over to Aussie, which was the weakest risk currency for the week. Had a very dramatic slide to the downside. So as I look at the Aussie, I would say that you have buy stops over this high, which is going to be a fib retracement of about 61.8. And those buy stops will come in at 9967. And of course, long-term bears are going to have their stops over this par 77 level, which was the high of an ABC type correction. So that's where I believe the massive block of buy stops are. Sell stops, of course, you're going to have stops under this low of 98.39, and then you move to the daily, and this low under 98.03. So you have stops that are pretty close to the low we had on Friday, but the big stops are going to be right here in my view under 98.03. And finally, we'll wrap up with the gold. Another negative week for the precious metal. If you go to our site, I wrote before New Year's, gold may not rule in 2011. Definitely looks like it's been vacating its throne of a one-way street to the upside. We've had a very dramatic break of almost $100 from the high. People that are short, late to the party, looks to me like we'll have buy stops over 1350.20 and again over 1353.5. But your major stop hunts are still going to happen to the downside. And here we're looking at the 1328.40 and 1314.90. My ultimate objective was 1265 in the gold. So this is your weekly stop hunt review. It's also on the site in text form. Wanted you guys to have a visual. Good hunting next week. This is Dale Pinker with ForexStopHunters.com signing out.